Okay, so this is the Regnauld classification of Hallux Limitus and Hallux Rigidus. So how do we remember that? Well, Regnauld kind of sounds like Regnauld to me, which I associate with Ryan Reynolds, who is Deadpool. So just a little image hook there for you guys. So Ryan Reynolds is our hook, and it's kind of very easy, except somehow they made it difficult. It's grade 1 through 3, and it's just a progression of arthritis, essentially. But they've managed to make all these details that are difficult to remember. So I have an image here that I've drawn to help you visual people remember this. So grade 1 is a functional hallux limitus with dorsal spurring. So as you can see on the image, I have this little red jaggedy line over the metatarsal head that gets thicker in stage 1 versus stage 2 and stage 3. That is the dorsal spurring that I'm trying to convey to you in an image. Intact sesamoids with no associated disease. As you can see in stage 1, there's no yellow circles for the sesamoids. And then joint enlargement, but joint space narrowing and arthrosis. So as you can see, the green space there is a little bit enlarged, and it has that little red line there for narrowing. And additionally, they added this less than 40 degrees of dorsiflexion and less than 20 degrees of plantar flexion. So I have these little arrows here on the side that are supposed to indicate, on the left side of the metatarsal, they're supposed to indicate decreased range of motion. Personally, I'm not going to try and remember less than 40 and less than 20. And then in grade 2, we move on to the center image of the metatarsal. So in grade 2, we have broad, flat metatarsal head with structural elevatus and significant spurring. Okay, so again, the zigzaggedy, squiggly line at the top of the metatarsal head is a little bit thicker for more dorsal spurring. There's pain at rest, which is what I use to indicate the orange jaggedy lines, kind of the pain motions around the joint. And then there's osteochondral defects in the metatarsal head, sesamoidal hypertrophy. So I drew the yellow, thick sesamoids on there, and joint space hypertrophy and narrowing. As you can see, the metatarsal head's a little bit more flat. The joint space is narrow. You can't see as much green. And then there's 75% decrease in total range of motion. It's a little bit easier to remember 75%. So on the left side of the metatarsal, I've drawn that minus 75 with even smaller arrows, okay? In grade 3, we have ankylosing articular hypertrophy with extensive periarticular osteophytes. So you can see there's that very narrow joint space, no green really seen there, and there's these little random loose bodies around the joint with an actual mouse I drew there to help you remember the joint mice. Okay, they also have osteochondral defects with joint mice, like I said, extensive first metatarsal sesamoidal disease. So I drew those thicker, jaggedy looking sesamoids in yellow, and severe loss of joint space or collapse of the joint, obviously with bone-on-bone articulation, and an FDL contracture. That one is indicated by this long red arrow here that I've drawn down the center. Okay, so essentially, if you just use common sense, it's the advancement of arthritis in a joint, but they've added these very specific details, which I've used in the pictures to help you remember the Regnauld classification.